In Spanish, there's a word acompañamiento, which is accompaniment, and that's the word that we use when we go into communities. Uh, we don't say we're here to fix you. We don't say, we're here to, build this or build that. We literally describe our work. We're here to accompany you in your efforts to improve this community. And even like the how we work reflects that. So any project that we get involved in, what does it mean? It means, first of all, there has to be folks, leaders in the community that have come together, that have made a plan, and are willing to mobilize their resources first. We simply say all the time, you have to be the first investors. We'll only be a secondary investor. So that means even if they are a very low income community, what skin are they going to put in this game? We underestimate the capacity of low income people all the time, out of our prejudice, out of our compassion, out of our stereotypes, whatever. And so we never put an amount of money like you must put in, $1,000 for us to do this. Instead, we challenge them and we say, how important is this project to you? Because by the amount of money that you put into this project, if we see that it's the most important project for you, it will be the most important project for us. But if we see by what you put into it that it's not that important, we're not saying we won't work with you, but it just won't be that important to us either. So what am I saying by just sharing that dialogue? That's the real dialogue we have with folks. Why? Because we really are accompanying them, but they're the leaders. They're doing the work. One of the things I often say to my staff when we're worried about, a portable water project, putting in an electrification plant, starting getting buyers for farmers, crops, whatever it is, there's a million issues, right, that we're accompanying people on and working on. And I'll always stop, and one of the questions I always ask my staff to ask themselves, and we check each other, is we'll say at different points in time, okay, because we're really concerned. Oh my gosh, is this buyer going to come through? We've got 400 farmers that are harvesting over the next 3 weeks, and is the deal set and all this? I'll stop and I'll say to them, so who besides you tonight is not going to be able to sleep because they're worried about this? And you know what? If it's only our staff, we're not properly aligned. But they better be able to say, oh my gosh, Ernesto and Juan, Jose, we're all talking about it. And we go to those farmers' houses and they're worried about it too. Then we're accompanying them in their efforts to change, improve, develop, and change their quality of life. But too often, particularly in my field, in the not-for-profit field, we can so easily get off track thinking that change is going to come from just heavily resourcing people or fixing people or let us just do this. And then very quickly you've hit that slippery slope where it's your program. It's not the community's program. They're just waiting for you to come and do something else. And it's like, and again, because my experience tells me we can't transform anybody. People will only change themselves. But we can certainly accompany people in that process and provide access. And the kind of access that economically limited communities need is they need access to information. They need access to financing. They need access to sometimes training or technical assistance. They need access to markets, for heaven's sakes, a lot of times. And so those are things that you can provide open doors and provide access, but to their efforts and to kind of their projects and their work. And I think that's where I've seen really dramatic changes happen. And when, just to give you a kind of statistic behind that, this idea or this concept, in Nicaragua is the second poorest country in this whole hemisphere, second only to Haiti. And in Nicaragua, using this approach of acompañamiento, of really accompanying people and communities in their efforts, We have seen farmers in one harvest cycle increase their income by over 50% and then be able to consistently keep that up. They're transforming their lives. Suddenly, they're able at the end of harvest time to have enough extra money to buy a cow, to buy chickens. Suddenly they've got multiple income sources. The next season, they're not just waiting for one harvest. They've been able to diversify. They're selling eggs. They're eating better themselves as a family. But that's not something that we can plan out for them. That's something that is unique to each particular farm family. But how do we accompany them in that process of getting there? And I think that's really where we've seen transformation.